Acoustic Shop channel. I am John. I am here today with Jeremy.
Thanks for inviting me.
Jared.
This was a great,
have you back.
great experience.
We're going to do a duo. Does Brazilian Rosewood make a difference? Is Brazilian Rosewood better? We're going to find out on these two Preston Thompson guitars. Well, Jeremy, we are back. We are doing a really cool experiment today.
A VS or
a VS?
yeah.
What is a VS?
Versus?
What are you talking about? Oh, a versus.
A VS or a shootout.
Shootout. We're doing it all. Anyway, we're going to be talking about these two Thompson guitars we got in this absolutely gorgeous custom Brazilian dreadnought. And then we have Trent, our amazing photographer, and also he just does everything in the shop. Videographer. He does everything. And this is his personal guitar from Thompson. So they're kind of a match pair. We're going to compare the difference between Brazilian and Indian Rosewood. Before we get into all that, though,
you guys cannot actually watch the rest of the video. Yeah. We're not going to go on until you actually subscribe to this channel and also share it with 3 friends. And we'll give you, what, 30 seconds?
Well, I mean, great fortunes will come to you if you share it.
Share it with 3 friends. If they don't share it, then the chain will be broken and
bad things will happen.
Your guitar is going to explode.
So how long are we waiting?
No, but yeah, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and click on the notifications thing if you'd like to know when we go live. We do that about 3 times a week. We do some live performances and some breaking news about guitars, mandolins, banjos, all the things acoustic. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment below. And lastly, if you don't like to hear us talk, we made a full video of just playing these guitars. And then you can, and that's in the description below. You can just click on that, go to a different video with no talking. And at the very end of this video, we do a tone sample shootout between the 2 guitars, and you can skip directly to that. So that's all out of the way.
He got it all out of the way.
So now we get to talk.
So let's talk about Brazilian Rosewood.
Where does it come from?
Indian. Guess what? It comes from Brazil. Did you guys? Isn't that weird?
Where does Indian Rosewood come from?
I'm hoping it comes from India. I'm not positive though.
Okay.
Could be
the species
South
could cross
American
lines, but
yeah, some sort of. Anyway, this has been a controversy that's been going on forever, and I'm going to tell you some background I have on Brazilian Rosewood versus. Before I do that, it is illegal to harvest Brazilian rosewood anymore and import it and export it out of the country.
It has been since the 70s.
It has been actually, I think, from 1968, right in that time period. So there are certain ways to get in legal Brazilian rosewood, and it does happen, but it's extremely protected right now, and it's just one of those things. And it used to be every major guitar manufacturer built rosewood guitars out of Brazilian rosewood. It was the choice of all guitar builders. So
that and furniture makers and all that, everybody was building things out of Brazil because it is so attractive looking.
It is.
It has a gorgeous grain
dark
to it.
Black ribbons and spider webbing, and
which is why they had to start making it illegal, because they were over harvesting and basically devastating the rainforest in Brazil. So they said, all right, no more of this. We're going to just stop it entirely. I think at the time they tried to be selective about, well, we'll let you do a few pieces and stuff like that, but then people were breaking the rules, and rosewood looks very similar, so they're saying, well, this isn't rosewood, this is another wood that looks like it, and they couldn't confirm it, so they just said, no more.
So here's the deal. We see it a lot of times. When I grew up, I heard it all the time. Everybody was arguing that there was no sonic difference between Indian rosewood and Brazilian rosewood. When I grew up, everybody was telling me that they'd done multiple tests, and there was absolutely no difference at all. Then we keep seeing more guitars showing up with Brazilian rosewood, and everybody who plays them goes, "There's a difference." I want to know what it is. I know what my personal opinion going into this is that it is a difference. I don't know if it's a dramatic difference, but every species of wood has a slight difference of tone. So to say that there's zero difference, I don't know if I will totally believe that. But we wanted to compare it. So we were lucky. Trent has a gorgeous, this is a D-EIA, which is East Indian Rosewood and an Adirondack spruce top in a dreadnought. So well done. Custom had a bound fretboard, bound peg head. Love this guitar. Trent's been touring it with it for the last 3 years. So it's fabulous. Sounds great, and we know it sounds great. And then we got in this custom Brazilian one, which we did for a customer, and it turned out absolutely amazing. And so we decided, you know what? What better time than to take two identical guitars and hear what they sound like. Now, there's going to be some variance because this is a 3-year-old guitar. This one is brand new, but we're going to find out if we can hear some major tonal differences besides just kind of an age kind of tone difference. So for most people, consensus is there's a little more density to Brazilian Rosewood than there is Indian Rosewood, which kind of makes it a little bit harder and gives it a little bit more brightness and tightness to that low end, where it seems to have a little bit more kind of a thicker low mids to area to Indian Rosewood. That's what I hear the most from people when they're comparing the difference. Is it dramatic? I don't think it's like night and day, and I think a lot of luthiers are able to kind of work their magic to kind of make both of them kind of tailor a little bit more towards one sound scope than another. But, you know, that's basically what we're going to try to find out is how much of that is true. And I guess that's what we're going to do right now is just kind of play something through.
No better way than to do it.
Back and forth. You won't be able to tell the difference from the blurred out and light colors and shape. You should be able to not notice any difference between these two except for the sound. And that's what we're going to be listening for. Well, there you have it, Jeremy. Brazilian versus Indian Rosewood. It was all that it was cracked up to
decider.
be. It was everything that anybody wants to know about Rosewood guitars.
That's not true, but it was a pretty good comparison. And
it was.
I think it might have lived up to what you were you have heard as feedback from other players.
As well
what do you
as
think?
What guitars I think it literally, for me personally, it kind of lived up to exactly what I thought the differences are. Dramatic? No. In fact, I'm wondering how much of this stuff is really going to come through on everybody's computer speakers / headphones, whatever it is you're listening to on, and see if you could feel the difference. Maybe some of it is truly a feeling thing that I'm feeling as a player in here. There is a slight, and I mean slight, difference between these two guitars. I think this guitar, even though it's brand new, had a little bit tighter and also bigger low end for it than what that guitar had. I think Indian Rosewood has a little bit of a softer attack to the low end and not quite as much punch to it, whereas the Brazilian had a little bit more just overall attack and fullness to that low end. The high end felt very similar to me. There is a little bit more, it's bigger overall. And again, that could be just the two different guitars.
Could be the age difference.
Difference.
I think the comparison kind of, there's a lot of factors, I guess, deciding whether it's worth going to a Brazilian Rosewood. So tone alone, I don't know that it's substantial. That's
the word.
I was going to say sustainable. But substantial difference between the Brazilian and Indian Rosewood. it is a difference.
They're both fabulous guitars.
Then there are other factors: appearance, look, rareness. Having something that's a little bit more unique, because there's not a lot of Brazilian Rosewood guitars out there. That's got a reason to maybe make that investment. Tone-wise, I think I would be happy with either one of these guitars very easily.
I would take either one.
If somebody made me choose, it would be a hard choice.
Can we get back to that idea of the GoFundMe for John's Thompson guitar?
There are much more important things to be funding right now.
If you're wanting to start a GoFundMe for John's Thompson guitar, please do it. I think it's a great idea. I'd love that.
It's never going to happen.
It's probably not.
So your final verdict?
Well, again, for me, yes, there is a difference. We've discussed this many, many times. There is a level whenever you buy a guitar where, like, a price point where it makes a huge difference in tone. And I kind of put this into that same deal here. When we get to, a $500 guitar to a $1,000 guitar, dramatic difference.
Worth the investment.
Dramatic difference. $1,000 to a $3,000. Less of a difference, but still a significant difference. When we start going from that 3 to 6, whatever, much smaller difference. But there's no way to get it unless you go there. And every time we go even past that, it's little things.
They call it diminishing returns.
It is diminishing returns, but you also have to put in that factor of there's only one way to do it. And I think this falls into that category. Brazilian to Indian, it's an expensive upgrade. It is a tonal difference. But I think it is only one way. If you hear that little thing, which every guitar player does, that's like, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing that little thing. I think this is the only way you're going to get that. Now, for me, and if we have the opportunity to do it, I want to hear the Madagascar versus, because I find the in-between spot is that Madagascar. It's kind of an in-between price point. So that kind of helps a lot right there. But I hope we have a good comparison guitar at some point to do that test, because that one is in between, gives you that. But again, I don't think, I've played a lot of Brazilian Rosewood guitars. I don't think anything else does it all the way to that.
Yeah.
Is it close enough that most people won't care or can't really hear the big difference? Probably.
Yeah.
Again, that's going to come down to that player. If you're that player that recognizes that difference and you can hear it, you can feel it, and you're like, that is the thing that I've always wanted out of a guitar and I never got, you better spend the money on a Brazilian Rosewood guitar.
The same sort of thing happens in golf or in fishing. It's those
absolutely.
little bit of returns that you really can't get to that next level without making a pretty large investment. So to say, is it worth it? Well, to be a golfer and you just get that perfect putter that just has the right balance and the right feel to it, it just makes you feel better about the game. To a lot of players, that's worth it, and I've known some golfers that are constantly trading in golf clubs, spending more and more to get just that little extra feel. Same thing with fishing. They'll spend just a little bit more for a rod that has a little more flex.
I've done that.
A little more flex to it. So for me, going out and buying one, it would not be worth that because I've not developed that feel. But for somebody that's a real enthusiast into fishing, is absolutely worth the upgrade for that slight increase. And like I said, there's other factors like the appearance. You can't get that. There's a total different look to Indian Rosewood and Brazilian, that dark, rich color to it versus more brown, kind of straight grain feel to the Indian Rosewood. So other factors involved, collectability and rarity also being one of them.
Yeah.
So there are reasons to make the upgrade. Is it right for you? You guys put in the comments what you think. Could you hear a difference?
I want to hear how much this shows up in your speakers, what you guys hear. We've done so many of these blind tests where we feel a significant difference, and part of it's us being in the room with it, the feeling of it, the thing in our hands, all that kind of stuff. So I'm real curious, as you, the listeners, what do you hear? What do you feel out there? Because that really does tell us a lot about what's going on. So please do tell us what you think about it.
So another comparison where it is like we hear a difference, it kind of reinforces what you were thinking, but it's up to the individual player. And a lot of times getting one in their hands is the only way they're going to know whether it is worth the upgrade. And also just how much they're invested into playing guitar and owning something that they truly love will help them decide whether that's worth the upgrade as well. So
absolutely.
I did hear a tonal difference. I'm not a guitar player, so I'm probably not as fine-tuned to it as you are, but there is an apparent difference in it.
I'm so far from being fine-tuned to anything. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think it was a whole bunch of fun to check these out. Both guitars are fantastic. I think you should buy one no matter what it is.
You should probably buy both of them, play them back to back and see what you think.
Makes perfect sense. So anyway, we'll be doing more of these kind of tests. Let us know what you want to hear, and we'll be checking that too. And until then, you guys just keep on picking.
Hey, we really appreciate you guys watching that video. It was my favorite one we've made so far. We've done hundreds of videos, and that was the best one.
It was.
And the next one's going to be even better. If you'd like to see that, be sure you subscribe to this channel. And also, the more you comment and interact below, the more the YouTube algorithms pick it up and start pushing it out to other people, like-minded people.
Algorithms?
Algorithms, they're everywhere. They permeate the internet, and YouTube's got one, and it watches our videos, and it sees how much you comment, and then it pushes us to other people like you. And we want everyone to experience the Acoustic Shop world, where we talk about instruments, we do reviews, we got some fun videos coming up. We thank you guys so much for being a part of it, and we'll see you in the next video.